But let's talk about CMC. So McCaffrey comes back. You got Jordan Mason, who's established himself as, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league. Statistically, he's right up there. And then Isaac Guerrero, they're talking about him like he's the second coming of Raheem Mostert. He clearly has breakaway speed, and he's had some big freaking runs at critical moments this season. Christian McCaffrey comes back off of like 3 practices and hasn't put on the pads in like a year and gets 56 of, I want to say, 62 snaps. Why does Kyle Shanahan not use a running back rotation when like the Bucks do, the Lions do, everyone does?
Well, good question. Let me throw out this one first. Maybe Jordan Mason having that shoulder injury has something to do with it. I'll throw that out there as a possible excuse.
Possible.
But here's what I know. Jordan Mason has never averaged 3 yards per carry in any game he's ever played in, even when all he was the closer to finish games. He's always done better than that. Christian McCaffrey ran 3 yards per carry yesterday. Now, Christian McCaffrey's just coming back, so I'm going to throw out that excuse could be 100% valid for Christian McCaffrey. But here's what bothers me. Jordan Mason has shown that he is a legitimate, really good running back in this league. He was trending to have the 5th most yards by any running back in 49ers history before this game yesterday. You can't just extinguish him from your offense. Jordan Mason is a better, I'm going to say it, he is a better runner between the tackles than Christian McCaffrey.
Right now?
He is.
Right now?
I said it 2 years ago, and I still believe it. He runs harder. He is designed to be a better runner between the tackles, period. Christian McCaffrey might be the better dude outside and definitely in the passing game, but they should be using the combination of both these dudes. Yep. Maybe Isaac Guerrero too. Like the Isaac Guerrero one doesn't bother me, even though he's shown that he's a breaker, right? Christian can do that too. Mm-hmm. But they need to be using Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey together, combined, especially between the tackles. That needs to be Jordan Mason's domain. He is better there.
Also, I feel like what played out against Tampa was so predictable. Christian in his first game back didn't have the full 3-week practice window to ramp up, like they say. He had 1 week. And yeah, you want him out there. It's a must-win game or close to it. Averages 3 yards a carry and doesn't break any tackles, but he's kind of dangerous as a receiver. So predictable. This guy is managing Achilles tendonitis. He's afraid that it's going to come back. He's afraid he's going to rupture his Achilles. Like, he's going to protect himself a little bit. And running between running at all is much more dangerous than catching passes. You catch a pass, you just got to make one guy miss. You're in the open field. So running back, you got to make like the whole defense miss. So while Christian McCaffrey is in this state where he's like trying to build confidence back in his legs and get back into football shape and understand that he can give like the same level of effort that he gave last year and not get hurt, don't give him all the carries. Yeah. You use him on third down, use him in 2-minute drills, but like on first and second down, Jordan Mason needs to be getting as many or more carries than Christian McCaffrey until further notice.
Yeah, agreed. And
if Christian gets 6, Jordan gets 7.
And Deebo Samuel shouldn't be running the ball at all. He shouldn't.
No, that's over.
That's done. He shouldn't. Deebo shouldn't be running out of the backfield. He should be on slants. Get Deebo the ball quick so he can gain yak on slants, things like that. That's what Deebo should be doing. If you're going to be doing jet sweeps, pop freaking Cowing in there. Let Cowing do it, or Pearsall or somebody else. But as far as running the ball, it should be Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, two-headed monster. If you want to throw Guerrero in there every now and then, fine. I do think Christian McCaffrey can, in general, do most of the things Guerrero can do. He's not quite as fast, but on the outside, Christian's elite, and he also adds that passing game element that Guerrero's probably can't do yet. So I would, at least go with the Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey combination. Jordan Mason is a better runner between the tackles, period, point blank. I'm sorry.
And let's talk like creativity, because Kyle's lost it. He's lost. And you and I have it in spades, plus we're honorary quality control. So Kyle, listen up. Here's how you're going to get Jordan Mason involved. That fullback you got, 44, put him on the bench. Then put Jordan Mason and McCaffrey on the field together. What you could do, and the Bucs did this a little bit yesterday. Like, Bucky Irving is clearly a better runner than Rachaad White, but Rachaad White's a hell of a receiver. Hell of a receiver. So there were times when Rachaad White would be in the slot on like a 3-by-1 formation on the 3 receiver side, and Bucky Irving would be in the backfield. So what you could do is a real simple RPO from the gun, hand off to Irving, or pull it and throw to White on a little bubble screen. Like, it's not even creative. People do it all the time. Why not do that? You have Jordan Mason in the backfield, McCaffrey in the slot. What's the defense going to do? They're going to go to McCaffrey. Now Jordan Mason's going to kill you. And then when they have to adjust to Jordan Mason, I mean, it just seems like, man, how do we get our best players on the field, bro? I don't know.
Right.
Sorry, that's not my impression of Kyle. That's just I don't know who I don't know who that was. But
I mean,
it doesn't seem that hard.
It seems really simple, honestly. I think he should listen to you. I think that's a tremendous idea. Something we've been saying for a while. You can have Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Also, when they run, if you notice, like I do it with my kids all the time. Not all the time, but typically. Not all the time, but typically I can call what the play is going to be and what direction it's going to, just because I watch the 49ers every single week and I'm familiar with what they do. And typically, if Christian McCaffrey's behind Brock on the right side, he's going to be running to the left, and vice versa. It's very predictable. If you have Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey back there in split backs, it makes it a lot hard to predict what they're going to do. I think that's a really good idea.
I mean, I feel like you see the Lions do this too. Like, they have a great running back rotation. They have Jahmyr Gibbs this season is maybe the most explosive weapon in the league. He's what McCaffrey was last year, maybe even more explosive. Like, what a freaking weapon. And they don't overuse him. 12, 13 carries a game, a couple throws, but they use David Montgomery as well. They have them both on the field sometimes because they're both really good. So I just don't understand why Kyle can't do that too. It seems like Jordan Mason's a blessing. You didn't see it. He's proven it. Now all you got to do is get out of the way and let him play a little bit, because he's going to increase your chances of winning.
Can we talk about this? We talked about what they should do, but here's the reason why aren't they? Here's my reason. Here's my explanation. I feel like Kyle Shanahan is a fan of Christian McCaffrey. I feel like he's a fan of Kyle Juszczyk. I think he is too much of a player groupie to certain players, and he can't put that aside for what's best for the team and the offense. And Juice being out there is not what's best for the offense. Having Jordan Mason out there with Christian McCaffrey would be better for the offense. Rotating Christian McCaffrey would be what is best for the offense. But it seems like Kyle doesn't have the heart or the will or the want to make the smart decision for the team, because he's a fan of Christian McCaffrey.
There's more. Like, I talked about the financial motivations that could play into some of these decisions that Kyle Shanahan's making. I brought it up with Brock. Everyone knows there's this incredible extension that's going to cost the Niners a lot of money. Is he trying to shave off a few shekels? I don't know. It makes you wonder. All of a sudden, the way he's calling plays, it's more difficult for Brock. Now, Jordan, he's going to be a restricted free agent after this year. And if he was, had 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns, odds are he's not coming back. If he has a restricted free agent, some team might give him a contract that the Niners wouldn't match. But if he's buried and he ends the season with like 700 yards and 3 touchdowns, then probably a team isn't going to give him a lot of money, plus the Niners a second-round pick to take him off their hands. So I hate to think that the Niners are like thinking past this year and like how to keep the team together, like win this year. Do what you got to do. Play your best players. Hope.
I don't buy into that conspiracy, but I will say this.
Me neither, for the record.
Yeah,
I don't buy into it. I just hope it's not the case. My mind goes there sometimes. Intrusive thoughts. Let's do
the logical breakdown. Name the players that are overused in this offense.
Christian, Debo,
Kyle Juszczyk,
44. Those guys.
Okay. Those 3 dudes.
23, 44, and 1.
What do they have in common?
They're great friends with the head coach.
There you go. That's it.
You know who's criminally underused in this offense? Forget Jordan Mason. George Kittle.
Yeah.
Like, all year, whenever they throw him the ball, it's like, oh, he caught it, and he broke a tackle. It's a big play. And then you don't see him again for 2 quarters. I don't understand that, man. He should be their go-to guy. No disrespect to Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, but this has been the George Kittle season. As good of a season he's ever had, and Kyle Shanahan just forgets about him, loses interest in giving him the ball. It's so strange. It's so strange.
Because a lot of times he's there run blocking for Christian and Debo and those guys. And I'm telling you right now, the smart thing, I think people that watch the 49ers, you mix in Jordan Mason's, particularly in the interior. You pull out Kyle's Juszczyk because he's not blocking anybody. You focus more on George Kittle. You don't run Debo out of the backfield. Those are things that any non-biased 49ers fan watching the game can clearly, and it's not happening. I think it's because of relationships that Kyle has with these players. That's my best guess.
Let me just, I know we're talking what running backs here. I'm with you on this. George Kittle, I don't know what his relationship is like with Kyle, but this year, I mean, he had 4 targets in this last game. What in the world? Like for the season, 53 targets, 43 catches, 7 touchdowns in 8 games. Like, he could be doing so much more. When he's targeted, Purdy's quarterback rating is 134. I just don't get it. I mean, I know he's a little bit older, but 4 targets in a game that was really close. Why don't you just let George Kittle win the game for you? He could do that.
I tweeted out last year, I think he would be better than Jason Kelce if he was used the same way.
Travis.
He's that good. I
Man,
don't know.
If Travis Kelce, if the Niners traded Kittle for Kelce and Kittle was on the Chiefs, Andy Reid would have a bajillion ways to get him the ball. He wouldn't be shy about it.
Yeah.
4 targets.
He could have Kittle is the kind of player that could be breaking tight end records left and right if he was featured. Yeah.
And if he doesn't make it into the Hall of Fame, there's going to be one reason. Kyle.